Your 20s are supposed to be your best years, but they just feel like punishment, chaos, confusion, lack of direction and strategy, and it's just like really difficult for you to navigate. Honestly, I get you because I've been there and I am still there. So I can tell you for a fact that you are not the only one on this journey. So today we're talking about the pressures of the 20s and how to navigate your 20s better. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Subscribe to my channel, like, and I know for sure you comment on this video, but also have your notes with you and your pen because there's a lot of things you have to learn, especially if you're still in your 20s like myself. Sometimes you ask yourself, you say, why does it feel like everyone else have their life figured out except me? I am here to tell you today that you are not the only one, okay? You are not alone. But on figuring it out, I would like to say that figuring it out is an illusion. Figuring it out is an illusion because life is evolving, things are changing, times are changing, there are new trends, new lifestyle, there are new trends, new lifestyle. Something is happening every single day and everywhere in this world. So what you think you're trying to figure out. So one thing I feel like most people don't know is that not everybody's gonna make it, and the realization of that is gonna help some people to just slow down. But at the same time, how would you make it if you don't work hard? So all of these things are like pressure that we need to talk about. We need to ask ourselves, what is the cause of this pressure? What made me to think like this? And there is this thing I would usually say. I always tell myself and my friend, one thing you need to know is that everyone is going through something, but the people that are going through the most things are the people that actually thinks that there's someone out there that is not going through anything. They're the ones going through like the most things. So this is like a way of breaking it down for you to understand that every single one of us in this life on this earth is actually going through something that you know nothing about. So there are so many pressures that comes in your 20s that are just like really difficult for you to navigate, and sometimes they're like internal pressures and sometimes they're external, but I really believe that the external pressure reinforces the internal pressure and sometimes even generally causes the internal pressure. So I'll be listing them out for you while I also like let you know how to like navigate this pressure and how to make sure it doesn't get to you and affect your happiness and general well-being. The first major pressure we all know, societal pressure. Societal pressure are the pressure that makes you feel like you're on a deadline. These are the pressures that include, oh, you have to graduate, you have to get married at a certain age, have kids at a certain age, get married to a certain kind of person, you have to go to a certain kind of school, and even the kind of jobs that are expected of you even like is inclusive in this kind of pressure. What do I mean? When you finish from school, like secondary school, college, you're expected to go to school at least before you're 25. Most people like you have to be in school because by 25, most of your mates are already getting married. Most of your mates are already having children. I know once you graduate from school, the next thing is you have to get married. And once you get married, you have to give birth to children. And in some cases, one child is not even enough. And then you also have to make money. How do you make the money? Some people speak against 9 to 5. Some people would preach entrepreneurship to you like it's the way to heaven. So this are societal pressure against your own happiness. Another really common pressure that people in their 20s experience, especially in this day and age, like the Gen Z and the, I don't know, the other generation after us. So they experience social media pressure. Every time you clock in on social media, you tend to see people talking about how they achieved something, because we all know that in social media most people tend to post only the good side. It's not everybody that's comfortable posting their bad side or what they are fighting, what they are navigating. They rather like work on it in private than bring it to the public, so it will affect the outcome of that struggle, right? So when you come online, you see people post about their achievements, maybe how they got a new job, how they have just graduated, the house they are building, how amazing their partner is. Things like that can easily get to you, especially when you're still trying to understand your own self and the transformation you are going through. We also have the family expectation. This is another kind of pressure whereby your family members expect you to do things a certain way, or to even do a particular thing, or to do things so um you wouldn't spoil their name or bring curses to them and stuff like that. So sometimes you even have to go out of your way to do things. Like in cases whereby maybe your family expect you to be like a medical doctor, or but you just want to be an actress or an actor. Your family expect you to be like an engineer, but you just want to be a fashion designer. How do you navigate this? This is another form of pressure that comes for your happiness in your 20s. There are internal pressures as well. So I personally think this one's, I've already said it before, that this one's stem from external pressure. So internal pressure might look like wanting to do so well for yourself. Sometimes your family members might not even set a standard for you, but you set them yourself. Maybe you've seen the way you grew up, you've seen people in your family do even much better, and then you want to beat that, or you've even seen them do even worse, and then you want to outdo them. It could be a pressure whereby you tell yourself that, oh, you just tell yourself, I want to be like an artist, I want to make music, and then you're trying to top the charts, you're trying to push out interesting music videos, you're trying to even market that, like those kind of pressures. Sometimes it just gets to you. Sometimes you feel like every single person is watching your life. People are waiting for you to fail, people are waiting for you to make a mistake, or people are waiting for you to even do even much better. And I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't think it's as deep as you think it is. Sometimes it's just in your head. So some people have like support system, parents, siblings, aunties, uncle that have gone through the same path they are currently going through, and they're very much active. Why some don't even have? Some are like orphans, or some have like terrible childhood. But a large number of us are still figuring this life out. There's no final destination. Even so many like successful people, or who you deem successful, are still pivoting in their career. They're still changing strategies. They are still restarting, and some of them are still struggling. Timing is not equal. Timing is not the same for everyone. Some people, their morning is your evening. All fingers are not equal. Some people start life with a soft landing, with people, with a support system, while you might start life on your own. You have nobody to fall, nothing to fall back to. It's almost like if you fail, you fail. Like you have to die trying. So trying to compare yourself with other people is just you punishing yourself, I'm being honest. So it's almost like you have to focus on yourself. You have to, there's something I always do whenever I I see or I watch someone that I would subconsciously want to compare. I tend to immediately start looking for the person's history. I would try to find out their story. What was this person growing up like? Where did they grow up in? Who was their parents? What were they doing in their childhood? What kind of thing did they study? Where did they grow? I always ask questions. Like I would try to find out, okay, this is what happened, this is what they did, this is how they grew up, this is what a childhood looked like. It's not similar to mine. So maybe that makes sense. Most people do this thing on social media because they're trying to humble you, or where they're trying to just look for hate. But that's not what I'm trying to do. Most people come out and show you the good side, but you don't see the struggle. You don't see their sleepless night. It's the sleepless night I go to find out. And I will urge you to, if you ever feel like this, I think you should just go and spend more time looking for the person's story. Maybe you'd even learn something that would help you in the future on how to navigate your life. So the emotional impact on the pressure of navigating your 20s is quite a lot. It could lead to anxiety, it could lead to depression, which is like the most common struggle of a teenager or early adult. You fear choosing wrong, and then you end up not choosing at all, which is like a very terrible place to be in. It leads to burnout from trying to catch up, it leads to lack of self-trust from comparing yourself. So what I'm going to like round this up with saying, if you ever find yourself Like if you're in the current state where you're trying to navigate your 20s, I urge you to pause, ask necessary questions. Am I feeling pressured? Where is this pressure coming from? Is it as a result of society? Then you have to pick and choose what is personal, what is better for you as a person rather than what society expects of you. Is it as a result of social media? It's fine to log out. It's fine to block people that affect your happiness, block people that make you look at yourself less, block people that makes you question your decision, your choices, and even your entire life. It's okay to block them just so you can understand yourself even more better. And you should always remember, like I said in the beginning of this video, that everybody is going through something. But the person that is going through the most is the person that thinks that nobody is going through something, that there's someone out there not going through anything. I'll give you some bullet points that will help you like reframe your 20s, maybe even change your mindset a bit concerning your 20s and trying to navigate it. One of them is that time time is not equal. Mistakes are a big part of the process. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to start all over. It's okay to go back and correct yourself. It is even okay to accept that you've made a mistake. That way it will be easier because nobody can shame you when you've already shamed yourself. Like if you shame yourself, you're very much aware. Someone comes to shame you is like old news, like broken record. Please, I've heard this before. Say something new. Your 20s are more of a discovery phase and not a deadline. You can try out new things. You can restart. You can pivot. Do things that enjoy yourself in the journey. Like try to enjoy the journey. Always remember that it's just a chapter and not a setback. It's just a chapter in your life. It's not the entire page. It's not, it shouldn't pull you back. You just keep going. You should keep going, keep moving even through the mistakes, through the errors, through just keep moving. It can only this is another point. It can only get better. I always tell myself this like all the freaking time. Like it can only get better. It only gets better. It can never get worse. Like imagine you're in the bottom, like you're in the rock bottom. It can never get worse than that. You can never be more broke. You can never be more ugly, can never be more single because now you get to even understand people and even make healthier friendships. So it only gets better. Growth is not always visible. Honestly, this is one thing that most people need to know. Growth is not always visible. Growth might look like you might not even notice that you're growing, but one day you wake up and realize that you've stopped doing some things, some bad habits has changed. You're now like a new person. You're like, oh, who's this person? We wouldn't even know. So do your habits right, eat healthy, go for workout, take a walk, speak to people well, just be happy, just try to live right, honestly. And one day you realize the changes, you notice the growth. Focus on skills and not job titles. Celebrate your small wins, not just your big wins. Take consistent steps. Even if you can't notice the effort you're making, just try to be consistent. Consistency doesn't look like doing the same thing every day. It could look like sometimes having a break in between. It could look like 20% today, 30% tomorrow, 100% next tomorrow. But just make sure you are doing something healthy every single day. Limit comparison, especially on social media. Like I already said, you can block people that you do not want to see. Try not to compare yourself with people. It's okay to figure out their story. It's okay to want to know their background. That will help you navigate things more. But don't sit and say, oh, why does she have this thing that I don't have? Or like, I can do better than she can. Like, that's not what it's about. Like, you can never tell the background, the setup, the structure the person even has. You cannot. So I rather you try to find out the story behind a person and maybe compare the story rather than just comparing the surface work or the success you see on social media. Most people wouldn't show you the struggle, they wouldn't show you the bad part, they wouldn't show you the work in progress, they would just show you the results basically. Reflect regularly. perform introspection as often as possible. When you perform an act or when you do something, you can sit back and ask yourself, oh, did I do something right? Is this good enough? Can I continue like this? To have to change this? It's okay to change things, to relearn, unlearn things. It's very okay. The pressure to figure everything out in your 20s is not a reality. It's basically noise. So subscribe and comment if you feel like this video is helpful and if you feel like you can relate. And you can also let me know if there's something else you might want me to talk about. See you in the next video.